Hello everybody. We're going live for Tuesday Talk with an amazing soul called Abel today. Now, Abel is a international presenter, a well-known TV personality in Asia as well, and she also is from Find My Voice Asia, winner of Asia Woman Leader Award in 2019 as well, and a TEDx speaker herself as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pin a comment. Let me just grab that. And if you do feel inspired to ask questions, please use the question mark bubble to ask the questions there. And we should be able to then answer your questions. Right, let me just pin that. Pin comment. Okay, so I see you, Abel. Let me just invite you up. Okay.
Hello.
Hey, Abel, how are you doing?
Good. Very good. Thank you. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you very much. And thank you for taking the time out to join me on Tuesday Talks. I know you had a very busy day today.
Yeah, today was quite busy. Not often this busy, but I'm very happy and grateful. But it's a little bit exhausting for the mind, but I can still chat and talk. So thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you very much. So I've done a short introduction for you already, but you're the best person to introduce yourself and tell us what you do and why you do it. So the floor is yours to start with. Yeah, just let us know who you are, what you do, and why you do it.
Thank you. Is it Zishan? Is that how you say it?
Yeah, Zishan, yes.
Okay. So I just want to make sure I say it correctly. So hello to the audience. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Abel. My background before I became a communication coach is that I am a news anchor, TV show host, and MC, so master of ceremony. So my background is in broadcast media and mass communication, and I deal with a lot of people in public speaking. And now I have started also, so I have two lines of career now. I'm also still presenting, but I am actually coaching now. So I call myself either a presenter coach, people who coach you to become better presenters, or a communication coach. So whatever title you want to give, it's a little bit, similar.
That's quite exciting, and I guess then this conversation of Jesus Talks, you might be able to list some pointers out, I guess, throughout the conversation as to how am I doing, because this Tuesday Talks started last year when I started. I wanted to, obviously, I love talking and speaking, and my previous world, which was in the corporate world as a client manager, I used to do lots of corporate meetings and forecasting. So I had to be on the board and come onto the forward and present my slides and forecast everything. So and this is where the passion came. And I used to also coach at the same time the sales teams for my company, who then needed to complete that forecast that I've just forecasted, right? So the coaching would have gone into that. So what I did this time was combine both and went with it. And obviously with no training, obviously it's been the trainings that I've got from my previous companies. That's the only thing. So I've not gone out and done any special trainings for it. And I can see that you obviously are in that niche that you are coaching. So obviously you've been doing that for a while. So what decided you to take that step and do that coaching side as well? Obviously you were a presenter already before.
Yeah, I actually, back before 2017, I started Find Your Voice Asia, but I was hosting an event at a huge conference in Bangkok, and several people from big companies. One of them was GE, the other one was BMW. I mean, these were pretty high-level executives. They were lined up to talk to me. And they asked me, one of them asked me, not both of them, one of them asked me to coach them. And they were asking, So how did you connect with people so quickly? Because I was on the stage, and the room was at least 300 or 400 people, and they felt that I was talking to them. They felt a connection because I always ask a question, and I expect a reply, even from 300 or 400 people in the room. I expect a reply, so I don't just go up and talk. I go up and I connect first, and he asked me to coach him. And after that, I was like, oh yeah, sure, why not? I can coach, and because I'm actually pretty good at teaching as well, so I learned that. So sometimes life kind of throws you into a direction, and things just happen. So I started that in 2017, Find Your Voice Asia, but I really started just developing my coaching career and really getting results only the last 6 months. So thanks to COVID, yeah, I grew the career.
Wow, that's actually amazing. So one of the top guys in BMW, I guess, right? And then and wanted to be coached by you. And you just mentioned thank you, COVID, because I also thank COVID for a lot of things that catapulted my things that I wanted to do. Because obviously, when you're in the corporate world, you're just surrounded by everything that the company wants you to do, and no time for yourself, right? And COVID allowed me to have that time back. Even though I was still working from home, I was able to attend meetings and do my work. But a lot of my travel time and going into these office meetings were given back to me. So I literally had half a day come back to me, and with that, I was like, okay, what do I do with this time? I put myself into self-development and putting myself these coaching plans together and everything. And then this Tuesday Talk was born from out of that, because I've never done anything like this. And so Tuesday Talk's been going around for a year now. In last,
wow.
June, we were celebrating a year. Thank you very much. So June, we were
Wow.
celebrating a year of Tuesday Talks. And the purpose of this Tuesday Talks is raw. It's not scripted. So I've not met you before this. You know, we never had sat down and we say, okay, this is what we're going to talk about. It's just going to go with the flow and the conversation starts. And that's what has been going, and a lot of followers, they watch it, maybe not live, but it goes into IGTV, so a lot of replays gets played and shared as well that I've come across and I've seen. So that is the mission for this Tuesday Talks, is to spread and create those entrepreneurs out there who might be on the same journey or thinking of starting something, right, but are not sure of how to do it or should they do it. And my aim for everybody is now to fire their boss, because that's what I did during COVID, even though I was lucky enough to work from home. But I decided to fire my boss and pursue my dream that I always wanted to talk with people, be on stage and things like that, right? So I was like, okay, this is how I'm going to do it. And that's what I've been pursuing. And now I also help others to do that and, fire their boss and take that entrepreneurial journey, because everybody has an entrepreneur within them. It's just suppressed by society and the norm that they call it, right? Which is not there, it's what you are thinking. It's a case of, a lot of people say, taking that leap of faith. But I always confront that. I'm saying it's not a leap of faith. If you know what you are doing and if you plan your 1 year in advance, then it's not a leap of faith. It is actually taking the path that you've decided that you want to go. So live life by your design. You've designed it, right? And that's why you are heading it. So it's not a leap of faith. You're not thinking, okay, what will happen at the end of the year? You already know the pros and cons and everything. And then you are taking that decision to take the step and move forward with it. Right now, that journey is what we're going to experience. It might not be straightforward. It might, have lots of bumps that we didn't see, my potholes that we not come across. But then we will overcome it as and when they come, right? And if there's a bridge, we will take that bridge when it comes. In that perspective, how was your journey when you decided to obviously found your Voice Your Asia and obviously started coaching as well? So how has that journey been for you?
I actually started doing my own business in my late 20s. So Find Your Voice Asia is it's like my third business that I started by myself. The first two didn't really work out. There wasn't a longevity to it, so they kind of disappeared. So this is my third business that I started by myself. And this is the first business that I actually invested money into, which is very, very scary for me to invest money because I do not have any financial background. My parents never really like helped me with the finances. We were never educated that way. So this is my third business, I would say, that I started. I did some public relations businesses before when I was younger, but this one somehow feels like a very natural flow from my career in public speaking because I have been a presenter, TV host, a news anchor together for 16 years now. So for me to use my and now coach, it's very, very easy. It's like perfect flow. But I still love presenting, and I hope that I will continue to still do that. But what exactly was your question again? I actually forgot. What is your question? How did it go, or what was it?
Yeah. So how has that journey been for you? So when you started this third project for yourself, and you've invested money in there as well. So you already said it was a bit of a scary journey. So the question would be, what was the thought process for you so that you decided to invest your money in there, right? Because you haven't done that so on the first two.
Right, right. Well, for me to start a business is not difficult. I tend to be very creative. I'm very entrepreneurial as well. So to decide to have my own business is, for me, I don't want to have a boss. My bosses now, at most, my bosses are my clients. And I'm very happy to have clients to be my boss because I tell them my fees, I tell them what I can do, and then they tell me what they are willing to learn from me. And in the meantime, I'll also learn from them. But yes, the investing money into the business part, that part was scary for me, not the starting the business part. But I think it's very important to invest money in yourself for people to know that because the world is always competitive. But I find that after COVID, it's much, much more competitive. And the way that it grows online is very quick. It's so quick that I need help from professionals to help manage my social media, help manage my growth, my brand, so that I can grow congruent and in a great, more focused manner based on what I want and what I'm sharing with my audience. So it has been a really, really great journey because as soon as you focus, I mean, anybody, if you are very focused, because I have no plan B. My plan B is my presenting career, which I had for 16 years. So that is always there. But if you ask about my coaching career, there is no plan B. It's just this path, and I put my whole into it. And when I did 6 months ago, somehow I had this push in my heart to just say, okay, you know what, Abel, you have a lot less presenting work because there's a lot less events, happening because it's illegal to host events and big gatherings. So I have time. And somehow I always listen to my heart, which you call it sixth sense, listening to your gut, whatever it is. I always listen to it, and it's always correct. It never steers me wrong. And it said, okay, now it's time to push. So you push now. And I decided to push, and then I decided to hire somebody 3 months ago, and now I'm coaching very often. I have people who find me, and I have no idea how they found me. Somehow it's like it comes. So for the people out there who are like deciding whether they want to or not, you have to commit your mind and have to be with your heart. So the mind and the heart have to be in line, and you have to put your all into it. If you are, I think that if you're still working for somebody and you're afraid, you can, but your business will not grow as quickly. So if you're trying to do your own business and work for somebody else, you can. You have to spread yourself thinner, but your own business will not grow as fast.
I love this, and you touched on quite a few bits, and I would love to bring back when you said, in terms of you didn't want your nobody to be your boss, right? But your clients are
Yeah.
also your boss. same
I
time.
saw your mini
So
post. Is it fireball?
yeah, exactly, right. And there's something you also said about plan B. So and my views on plan B always is, if you are already thinking of, if you're trying to do something and you're thinking of plan B, you're already deciding to fail on your plan A. Because if you're thinking of plan B, because you're already thinking, oh, this is not going to work, and you were saying, and then you're already telling your mind that, oh, if this fails, I will do that. So the mind is already gonna start thinking of plan B when there will be a slight obstacle, right? A slight challenge. And your mind will say, well, plan B is there. You want to go there, right? And then you'll be like,
And then you get
maybe.
all over the place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly, right. So and I'm a person who just say, okay, there is no plan B. This is it, or there's nothing, right? And if you're saying that to yourself, or working on the process that you're building with that in mind, your mind doesn't know that there is anything else that you can do, right? So this is it, and I need to now overcome whatever this is, right? And it will focus on that to build that and create it and show you more opportunities, right? So this is something that I work with my clients in terms of the mindset, right? So even though I'm a business and mindset coach, the business develops itself because of the mindset we are building, right? So we will work on the mindset and we'll say, okay, where do you want to head? Why are you doing this that you are doing? And then we align your business with it, and you will see the business will just flourish itself because you are set. So there'll be there'll be routines. I mean, if some people like to call it rituals, you want to do that rituals, because people don't like the word routine. So yeah, you can do the rituals. You can set some time aside, 15 to 20 minutes in the morning. And that's what I wanted to ask you as well. Do you have certain routine or ritual or something that you do first thing in the morning when you wake up to start your day? And then that this day is going to be the best day ever. I know that not every day is usually the best day ever, no matter how we try it to be. But we can try. We have certain things that we love to do that kind of calms us, right? So we know that, okay, yeah, we're sane.
Yes. Well, besides the shower and brushing my teeth and washing my face part, I love to start my day with yoga. I started seriously doing yoga and focusing on my health about 4.5 years ago. But I started yoga about 8 years ago. But only 4 years ago, I started to become more serious. So I start my day with yoga, and I end the 1.5 hours of yoga with some meditation, whether it is a few 10 seconds or 1 minute, or maximum I can do is about 5 minutes, like really good meditation. It really clears my mind. And I have to tell you, this is very true. When your mind is very clear from yoga and from meditation, ideas about clients will come. Ideas about business will come. I mean, it would just drop into my head as like ideas and thoughts. When your mind is clear, you have no idea. Some of the best things come after I do my yoga. Really.
That is amazing. That's amazing. I always hear and I always say as well, so, one of the best downloads that you get from the universe and God, whoever you are following, right, is after meditation and yoga practice. I mean, I've been trying to do yoga, but I'm not practicing it as much as I would love to. But the meditation part I do quite often, and yes, the downloads you get after that about businesses, your day, and everything is amazing, right? So you are able to practice that. So it's always great to have a clear mind in the morning or after the end of your day. So it also depends on the people, right? If the people who like to start their day with clear mind and pursue everything. So are you also a person who loves to schedule stuff or list things? So which side do you choose? Are you listing or scheduling?
I do have a schedule in my calendar in my phone, so I do that. I rarely list things down unless I have a lot of things to do in one day, which I try not to get to that point anymore, because I have been to a point in my life, in my past, where I stretched myself too thin. And I am mature enough, wise enough, older, so that I know what to say yes to and what to say no to. So I try not to pack too much. So I remember everything. I rarely list things, but I definitely put stuff into my calendar. Yeah, that's a
That's actually good. So, and because I'm a firm believer of schedule, I rarely follow list because if for me list actually causes more anxiety to me anyway. Because if it's on the list, then I'm feeling like I have to catch up to that list every time, right? I'm like, oh, this is on,
oh,
so I'm like, nah. If it's not on the list, I remember things as well, right? And it will happen as long as it's scheduled. So I schedule everything on my calendar as well on my phone. Everything is scheduled to
yeah.
the T. So like small things would be on my calendar as well that it will be scheduled because
Oh,
my
okay.
phone would be pinging me. So what happens is then I'm not looking at a list that okay I need to do this, oh I need to do that, right? It's the phone will just remind me, oh yeah, in an hour you need to do that. I'm like, oh okay, yeah, and I'll do it in an hour. So it's not, yeah. So it's something that I learned from my corporate work as well when we were making lists of things that we need to be doing, and my boss would be like, have you written all these things down you need to do? I'm like, okay, I'll do it. And then what I noticed was in few months to come, I was always panicking because the list is not going down. It just keeps increasing, right? So you, as you said, you keep stretching yourself thin, and you're like, no, you know. So yeah, I'm a firm believer of scheduling stuff, and I always say, what gets scheduled gets done because the list has no schedule to it. It's just a list with no time frame, nothing, right? And it's just a list, and
Right.
you're like, okay, I will do it. And when are you going to do it? Where there's no deadline to it, nothing, right? It's just a list for the day. And yeah, I don't like that. I'm more of a, okay, if I start something, it has to finish, and my day is all scheduled to the point that I've usually have my days, my year, the whole year is scheduled to bigger events are all scheduled. The smaller events get scheduled as they are coming. Like Tuesday Talks is scheduled all the
Wow.
way to September, right? So Tuesday Talks is scheduled till September, and then I've got all my personal things are scheduled as well. So they are all in the calendar, and they pop up on my emails and on my phone. So I'm more of
Very
a
organized.
tech connected person. Yeah,
Very
and I'm a
organized.
firm believer of it, so that it works for me to a certain degree. Paper is great, but making lists, if you're, if you never followed something properly, like making lists still won't help you, right? If you schedule it, you just know that okay, it's time to do it. Now it is time, right? How come, if you watch TV, here's an example, right? So if you watch TV and you watch Netflix has no schedule. Everything is there on a list, right? You choose what you want to choose, whereas TV is everything is scheduled, right? If you want to do something or watch something, it is that specific time, and if you missed it, you need to now do a catch up, right? And that's the two difference on the list and scheduling, for in my view anyway, that if you want something really to be happen, just schedule it on your calendar. Doesn't matter that you specifically want it to be in that time or not. You give it that time and you choose it to be that time. And when the time comes, you will just do it because you gave it the time to do it. And that's how I say it. If you're putting things on the list, it's you're already destining it, so that, giving it no importance, and you're thinking, well, I'll see if I can do it in the day, right? And then I will do it, and because something far more important will always come up, and the list will keep growing and growing, and you will like, oh my god, I need to now catch up with this list. So with that list, I don't do it. Even though if there is a list, I'll put a time to it, and I put it on my calendar straight away. So I've got Google Calendar and Apple Calendar, because so I can just merge them together and get pings from everywhere. So I'm okay with it. I'm okay with notification. I know a lot of people are not good with notifications. I'm okay with notifications because my phone is usually silent, so it just vibrates, and I'll just look at it. I'm like, okay, notification, this. I need to do this, right? And we carry on doing it. Something that you touched upon as well in terms of you know um, having a clear mind for your journey when you're doing so. So is that something you do that every day on a regular basis, or is it something you think like, okay, I'm too today, like let's say yesterday was too stressful day, I definitely need to do it today, or is it a routine that you do it every day to start your day?
I do yoga and meditation at least 3 times a week, 3 to 4 times a week, and I'm very spiritual. So this is one thing that I wanted to say is that I'm not sure if the people who are watching this are spiritual or not, but I hope that one day I do not need to be reborn and I do not have to worry about lists. I do not have to worry about all the striving and chasing and achieving. That's why I meditate, so that I can try and reach enlightenment. Life is life. Life is filled with suffering, and suffering learned through relationships and experiences. And there's too much to do in life, and there's a lot of distraction in this life. A lot of everything is distraction. If you want to call it in a not so positive way. So you have to have a very, very good organization and also very good idea of how to balance your life. I try not to chase too much like I used to, because when you chase and you plan too much, I find that you tend to just get stressed out. But what I'm trying to say is that when we are so focused in creating this life, I've just got too tired of that, because I'm always creating. I'm always creating my life. I've been creating, and I'm a mother. I have a husband. I mean, I have everything that society expects me to do and more. But instead of trying to focus too much of my energy in, oh, let's do another business, let's do another this, let's do another that, I try to focus and leave the time so that I can grow the inner peace, the inner calmness, so that I can try to reach higher levels of consciousness, so that things will come to me without having to work so hard for it like I used to. And also, instead of me chasing, I will attract the things to me. And hopefully one day I don't have to, I love Earth, I love people, but I've had so much suffering in my past that I really don't want to, I don't want to keep this cycle of being born and reborn and born and reborn. So yeah, I don't even know why I talked into this, but sometimes we get too much into thinking that we forget to be. We're supposed to be human beings, not human thinking and not human doing. So I want to be a human being, and hopefully I will just be a spirit one day and not have to deal with all of this stuff. Like, forget about Netflix. I mean, I really don't care.
This is actually amazing, and thank you very much for touching upon that spirituality as well there, because it's been my first year with that spirituality journey myself, because I had that time to get into it. So I'll say, so last year I got into my spiritual journey, and apparently when I started connecting with all these spiritual friends of mine and new people that I met through that journey, I found out that a lot of stuff that I was doing already, and that you've mentioned as well, I was doing it without knowing that it's part of, spirituality, in terms of I also just like being instead of chasing. And this is something that I developed at a very early stage, because my childhood wasn't that the best of childhoods. It was amazing to a certain degree that then my dad fell into some hard times and everything, so we weren't as I'd say better off than what we were, so we had to downsize everything and everything. So that was kind of tough for me, being a teenager, and certainly now have to do everything too restrictively. So that's when I believe it's been developed to just being in the moment of what was happening. And what I was able to then develop was to not chase anymore and just be what's happening. So anybody who's actually seen me face to face is actually always says that I have no idea, Zishan, how do you do what you do? You'll be in a situation where the building will be burning down, but you will not be running out of the building. You will just walk out of the building, and also in that meantime, able to tell everybody to come out with you. Right? There'll be no panic on your face. And I'm like, well, yeah, I have no idea how it happens, but it just happens. And I never also chase anything in terms of that. And after that, I've been fortunate enough to just attract quite a lot of stuff, especially money. In terms of, because a lot of people say, right, the money, I want to attract money. Quite a few of my clients, I was like, I want to attract money, and they, and where I was okay, think of a number. They have no numbers thinking of it. And I said, how can I attract money if you don't know what money you want? Right? Me, throughout my life, I've attracted stuff by specifically saying I wanted. I'm going to start something very small, like for example, say a big screen TV, right? And when they were new, oh, I want this big screen TV. I want this nice house. I want this nice table, right, in my house. I want this nice specific sofa. I had pictures of those things in my mind because my mind is very photographic. So anything I do is very photographic. There's a whole movie in my head of my own life, how I would be when I'm retired, in terms of where I will be at my end of life. I even have a movie in my mind of where I would be just before I will die, right? And I've been that specific to myself. Whether that plays out that way, yeah, whether that plays out that way or not, I have no idea. But so far, everything has played out in a certain degree, right? So that's a great one. Let me tell you this one. So when I was growing up, my uncle, we were in States, and my uncle had this. So I went there to stay with them for my holidays for 3 months. Because my dad and mom were very busy, so they couldn't look after me. So I was like, okay, I'll stay there in States. So we were in New York, and this is the first time I saw everything very huge and big cars and everything, right? So he had a Chevrolet. I can't even remember the car, but one of those fancy Chevys, very huge. And I was like, I just remember the logo, and I was like, that was in my head fixated that, oh, my first car will be a Chevrolet. Like, fast forward to last. Fast forward to 2018 when I was ready to buy my first car. I had some small cars in between to practice when I was learning. And Chevrolet, so now I'm in UK. The Chevrolet never comes to UK, especially those ones that I have in mind. But luckily, Chevrolet had partnered up with somebody, a manufacturer in Korea, and they started exporting from Korea to UK just a year before that. And then there were Chevrolets in UK, but the smaller cars, smaller Chevrolets, right? So not huge ones. But I was like, hey, it's the brand that I was into, and that's what I wanted. So, and I got the Chevrolet that was there. So this is the power of your mind and being true to what you wanted. So and my missus says that to me as well. So that whatever I think that I want, I might not get it straight away, but it eventually comes to me because I always think of it that, oh, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to do. So if anybody's having a conversation with me, I'm like, yeah. But one day I will have this here. Well, in between I will do other things that I need to do, but one day this is what will happen. And a version of that will happen that day, right? And what I always say is be ready to receive as well, because once you are trying to attract stuff, be ready to receive what comes to you, because there's a version of what the universe is saying, hey, you're ready now, take this for starters, right? Here's a starter. So if you need to be then open and visualize that you are receiving stuff, be ready to receive it, right? So I could have just gone, oh no, I wanted a big Chevrolet, man. That's what I looked at. That was my dream. This is a small Chevrolet, a small Korean car. It's not real Chevrolet. But I was like, no, it's Chevrolet. This is what I wanted. It's the logo that I had in mind. That's been there since I've been 10, right? In my mind, that's going to be my first car with that logo. And I would buy myself, and it's there. And that was a car that, so that's a small version. So I thank you very much for bringing the spirituality side of things. That I always say, it works. Is there. You just need to be very intentional to what you want in life. And a version of this will always come to you. You might not get the exact thing, but that means you are now destined to get the fuller version later in the years. Depends on how strong your manifestation would be or your attraction would be. Some people do get more than what they were actually asking for, or attracting. But I always say you have to be specific to exactly to the T of what you actually want to attract. Because the universe is just like your mind. It's there to give it to you, but it needs to know specifically what you want. It's like you're planting a tree, right? So you are looking for that specific seed. So if you're planting an apple tree, you're gonna look for the apple seed. You're not just gonna go, I want a seed because I've got a nice garden and I want some fruits in my garden. You're not gonna say that. People will be like, well, what fruit do you want? Oh, I don't know. I want some fruits in my garden. You're never gonna find anything then, right? So this is where you go, okay, I want an apple tree. What will happen? You will be shown apple seed everywhere. Then you will know, okay, where do I buy that apple seed from, right? Choice is yours. You buy that, and then you're like, okay, now I'm gonna plant that apple tree. And what will happen? You will get the apple at the end of then you will get the apple at the end of that tree that you sow, right? There's a double feedback from where I'm not too sure where the feedback is coming from. Because mine is fine. So thank you, Mr. Holistic. I'm not sure where is that feedback coming from. But yeah, that's what I was trying to obviously say that there. That
I have a question for you. How do you attract the money to you? Do you have a specific number in your head, or how a strategy for that?
So I won't say it's a strategy, but what I always looked at as a for money, right? This I think came to me at a very young age when I saw how it affected my parents when we had everything and then suddenly we had nothing. And how I saw that my dad was never able to recover from that fall that he had, and then he was never able to find something to go back onto his feet, onto that back to that stage. And he always so this is where then I thought, okay, I gave it to myself as money is just something fictitious. You, the one who are giving the importance of what it is. In those times, obviously, there were lots of paper money, so the paper is useless paper is as much value as the paper is printed on, right? If there's a $20 paper note that you're looking at, why is it $20? Because you've been told it's $20 and nobody's going to buy you that much stuff. Apart from that, it has no value, right?
Right.
So since I started earning money and I started doing things, I've never held on to the money. So this is where I also do things is that don't hold on to your money. Don't look to save money. So I literally don't save anything. I'm always investing. I'm always giving away to my friends and families. If they are in need, people ask me and I'm like, yep, here we go. Even though there were times that, okay, I need that money sometimes. If somebody comes and asks, I'm like, okay, here we go. The reason I do that is because I always say the universe is also testing me in that way. So see what you want to do with that money when you got it. So I need it today, but then somebody says, oh, can you lend me, I don't know, let's say $10, $20, but I know that I need $40 for something. I only have 50. I will delay my thing because I am able to, and I'll say, oh yeah, here you go. Pay me when you can, and we will discuss that later. And I will part with that. The reason again is not chasing it, because money is pretty much the same as I don't know, chasing a chicken or a cat, right? The more you want to hold and grab onto it, the more they keep dodging you, and they don't come to you, right? You just go and sit in the corner, and then they come to you themselves, ready when they're ready. And that's what I say to everybody. I look at myself as a conduit for that energy that flows and comes to me and then goes to where it needs to go. So the money is never mine to be. It will just come to me for wherever it needs to go. So when it comes to me, I get enough to do my things and then enough to help others to get it. So, there's a saying that if you help enough people, you will help yourself as well. And that's what I do with the money. So I never worry about money, even though there sometimes is a worry about money. I always say, no, things will work out, because if I am worried about money, I'm just creating worry for no reason. Money will find its way to be with you because you need to do it, right? There, as long as you're not going to bed hungry and you have a roof over your head, you need to be just thankful to those things, and everything else will just work out. That's pretty much my strategy, and I've been blessed since then. Whatever I do, especially when it comes to money, I always attract. It's always there, just flowing. So there's very less that I had to go and chase. I'm like saying, oh, I need this, I need that, oh, I need to do this. I've been blessed not to do that so far in my journey. Touch wood, that it flows that way as well.
Very nice.
And it started raining here.
Yeah. Where are you based?
So I'm in London.
You're in London. Oh, wow. Okay. I'm in Thailand.
Yeah. So your side is already evening, right? So I'm in the afternoon time.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually used to pick up my kids.
Okay. So we will be obviously finishing this now. So thank you very much for being here and your time. What would be the last thing that you would say to people who are listening or watching this on replay as a something that you've lived by or inspired you to do things that you are doing?
I believe that I like to share to people that try to go with the flow of life because then you will have more peace inside. Of course, I'm not telling you to not create. Go and create what you desire, and don't deny your heart and your soul of you want and hope to achieve. And most importantly is believe in your ability to be the creator that you are, because whatever that you feel you can do it. Just like I always say, sometimes I look at it myself in the mirror and I would say, yeah, you're able, you're able, and you are able to achieve things, to find things, to relieve your suffering, to, like I'm able to many things. That's what I tell myself. So you can use that to help yourself as well. And if anybody would like to contact me about presenter coaching to, present themselves better so that you can build your business or improve your communication skills over Zoom or online, or in person, definitely you can come in and look at me because I am planning some masterclass series in the future. So it would be great to hear from some of you on my website or on Instagram. So thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And thank you for sharing these valuable information as well. So everybody who's watching this now live or just joined in to be watching this, I would recommend to rewind this and watch it again, which will be on IGTV, and it will be there for quite a long time. Then move on to Spotify as well. So I will also urge everybody who is watching this or re-watching this, and if you found this useful and you found some golden nuggets that you were like, wow, I didn't know this, and now this is going to help me, I urge you to share with somebody that has just popped into your mind, right? Or you think that this person would do much good by listening to this. Is just because we do not know who's woken up this morning and thought that, oh, is there something better than what I have today? And by watching this video or listening to us, we have sparked something for them to create and then follow that creative flow that you just mentioned about April is mentioning throughout the video, and able to do something better and move forward with it. So with that, thank you very much for today, and everybody else. We'll be back again next Tuesday with another amazing person as well. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Zishan. Thank you. You're very positive, and I really like your energy. Yeah, thank you so much for this. Very nice to meet you.
You too. Thank you very much.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.